Good Monday morning, everyone. This is Mary Elizabeth with Sacred Love Tarot, and this is your Angel Messages of Love for October the 24th, 2022. I hope this reading finds you well and happy and living your best life. Let's see what the guidance from our angels is this morning. All right, so, here we go. So our first two cards are the Three of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles. All right. So I kind of feel like some of you may be going through a difficult time. And when I say the Three of Swords and we talk about heartache or heartbreak, with the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles, I feel as if you're struggling with finding your creativity, with finding your balance, with finding your inner divine, with finding who you are. I don't feel this is a struggle with someone physically doing something to you. I think this is all mental. I think that sometimes we just go through things, and when we put a lot of focus, a lot of time, and a lot of energy into these things that we go through, and they become magnified to the 10th degree, we have a very hard time digging ourselves out of that rabbit hole that we find it very easy to go down when we start losing perspective, or when we feel as if we're no longer connected to our creativity or individuality, or our or connected, connected to the divine, connected to spirit, source, God, our higher self. And I think all of the changes that are rapidly happening, I talked about this the other day, that I felt like things were moving very, very quickly, and I was just trying so hard to keep up. And there are a lot of changes that are happening, and for my personal instance, my bedroom is my sanctuary, and I'm going through a transition at the moment to where now my sanctuary is very cluttered, and I find it very difficult to tap into my creativity. I find it very difficult to trust the process. I find it very difficult to connect. I find myself stuttering a lot. I find myself not being as articulate as I would like to be, because I'm going 100 miles an hour. My head is going 100 miles an hour. How do I fix this? How do I take care of that? How do I do this? How do I do that? And I magnify the issue so intently that I have a hard time focusing on what is important. And I think a lot of us are going through that at the moment. And I think a lot of us are right now dealing with physical deaths. We had a death of a friend yesterday. A couple of weeks before that, there was another one. And I think that there is a huge transition of balance, I want to say, and I don't know if this will make sense, but I feel there's a huge transition of balance between people who are passing, leaving this physical plane, and the people who are not trusting the process of their spirituality and creativity. So what I mean by that is that I feel like the amount of people who are investing and trusting in their higher self is becoming smaller. And we have a lot more people who are being very judgmental and very chaotic and very angry and very ignorant to their own divine connection, and not only to theirs but to others as well. So, and I think that brings a lot of heartache and heartbreak and uncertainty and insecurities to people who are very much invested in their spirituality and their connection to the divine, in their ability to create, to manifest, to connect, to download. Because when we have so many people who are judging or who are ridiculing and criticizing, it sometimes makes us, if we're not careful, it sometimes creates doubt, right? Is this my path? Am I on the right path? Am I doing what I should? So I think what we're being guided to do today is tap back into your creativity, tap back into your connection with the divine. If you have found yourself very lax in meditation or prayer or visualization or spending time in nature or connecting to your element that makes you feel powerful and connected, tap back into that and trust the process. Trust that you're right where you should be, and trusting that process that you will be back in balance. You will be more in tune and focused and connected to the divine, to your individual spiritual connection and your divinity within. And I hope this is making sense. I also want to say that for some of you, this creativity and trust process is, or the creativity and trust is all about you really not trusting your true individuality and your true creativity and your true worth and all that you bring to the table. And I feel that there are some of you out there who have listened and put too much stock into people who are telling you that you're not good enough, right? And what I want to say is that when I talk about decluttering, it's just not decluttering the physical shit. It's also decluttering the mental shit, the spiritual shit, and those assholes in your life who have the gall to tell you that you're not good enough to do what you have been doing for quite some time and what you have invested yourself into, right? Trust you. Trust your process and trust your connection to the divine. Trust your creativity. Trust your ability to sense, to see, to feel, to create, to manifest, to connect, right? There is no one who can tell you that you're doing it right or you're doing it wrong. It's how you do it, how you feel about it, and how you feel when you're doing it that says, or that conveys to you, am I doing it? If you feel good about doing it the way you're doing it, then trust the process and know that you're doing it right. If it feels off, then tweak it and change it and do what makes you feel good. There is no one who can tell you how to do it, right? That is your responsibility, right? Because we're all going to do it differently, whatever that is. The creativity, the manifestation, the visualization, the meditation, the connection to source, connection to spirit, the gifts that we have, how we read, how we interpret. We're all going to do it differently, and no one is going to do it the same. So don't allow someone to tell you that you're not doing it right because you're doing it different than them, right? Their path isn't your path, and it never will be. So they will do them and you do you. And as far as them saying you're not doing it right because you're not doing it the way I do it, well, if you doing it, if it meant I have the same attitude as you, doing it the way that you would do it, I'd rather do it wrong because your attitude sucks, and quite frankly, so do you. So anyways, there's that. With a smile. Always with a smile. So yeah, know that you're divinely guided and loved. And that is your message for today. Have a great day. Talk soon.